Welcome to Overtime. I'm OD.
And I'm Erin.
Today, we're going to start off by talking about our last week's pick projection. Last week, we decided to go pick the game Baylor versus Oklahoma and Bengals at Ravens. I went 1-1 and you went
1-1.
Pretty good week last week. The Baylor game, it wasn't on TV live, but I did get some updates with the situation, and it was what I thought it was gonna be. Oklahoma's phony, so if you're an Oklahoma fan, I don't care. They're phony, and Baylor, Robert Griffin III, RG3, whatever you want to call him, he can sling the ball. I think he threw for like over 400. No interceptions, like 3 touchdowns. Just an awesome game. I figured they'd go to Baylor. It was going to be a tougher game than Oklahoma thought. Everybody was like, well, that was a fluke game against Texas Tech. It's not a fluke game to lose a game the way they lost against Texas Tech and to be a 30-point favorite. That's not a fluke game. Something you're not doing right. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was what it was. You called the upset.
Right.
I didn't.
Yeah, you're not a big fan.
I'm not a huge college football fan. I don't have like a team I support. I watch some games, but it's just not. It's not really my thing. Not that I'm making excuses. I was wrong.
Speaking of which, is a big game on today as we're taping tonight. LSU plays Arkansas, which could shake this weak BCS thing up again. I definitely say I will pick LSU. We hadn't really discussed this game, but I'm definitely going to just pick LSU because they're a home game. But next, with the Bengals at the Ravens, I got that wrong. It wasn't really like I got crushed or nothing. It was
a close game. It was a good
more
game.
like an experience game. They pretty much, when it came down to the end, they did some things that, the Bengals weren't used to. They're still fairly a young team. I think I feel like the Bengals are going to make some noise.
The Bengals have, I think, surprised a whole lot of people this year. I mean, Andy Dalton, I don't think people really expected that. Nah. He's been playing well. We kind of talked about last week, their front four and defense have been really good. Their offensive line has been doing well. So
Benson had a real good game. I think he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was 2 touchdowns. So they had a pretty awesome game. I just thought at the end, Flacco and the Ravens, they just came through. Okay, we're veterans. Let's end this game. Do what we got to do. Flacco makes some good passes. Flacco has made me look bad a lot lately. But whatever. Who cares about what's going on with the Ravens right now? I'm a little mad at that team.
Little salty,
Yeah, definitely salty. Definitely salty with that team. Yeah.
Well, Ravens defense, my fantasy team thanks you.
Yeah. As they sacked my quarterback 9 times. Yeah. All right. Speaking of which, we're going to get right into that the Thanksgiving games. Everybody watched Thanksgiving games. We'll just go in order in which they came in. And
what was that first one?
Packers at Lions.
Oh, yes.
Packers.
Yeah. Well, you might have heard Packers won 11-0.
Wow, what a surprise.
Yep.
What a surprise.
But it was a good game. I think the Lions helped us a lot as far as the penalties. They were just shooting themselves in the foot left and right.
Yeah, the Lions. I mean, we could, speaking of which, we're going to discuss the suit situation. Might as well just talk about it now since it's relevant to that game. The Lions, there's some phony. That's another phony team there. I really we didn't discuss it, but I called the Lions would beat the Packers at home, but I mean they just didn't show up. It was not. I expected better. I had my Thanksgiving lineup. I set my whole day to watch all the games, and I was just expecting better from that game. And I mean, Rodgers did what he had to do. He took care of business. Jones had a real good game. It wasn't a good Thanksgiving game. And Sue, come on. Just stop it. Stop it. I was actually on the side. I was on the side. They were saying he was dirty. I was like, no, he's not dirty. He's just a little bit more aggressive. But clearly, there's millions of people that were watching this game yesterday. And the guy clearly says that he tried to balance himself out. Are you kidding me?
I just really appreciated the interview afterwards when he was like, why would I put myself in that position when I know people are watching me? I don't know. I have no idea why you would do that. Why were you slamming his head into the ground, and then why were you stomping?
Well, I understood the slam. He explained the slamming the head situation. He said he was grabbing.
He
said he was grabbing. I understand that. I'm just saying, It looks real bad, but they talk a lot of crap in the trenches that none of us really hear.
Fine, talk all the crap they want. That's fine.
I'm sure he did something to him.
I think he was talking crap in his ear when he was slamming his head into the ground.
But clearly the leg stump was just, yeah.
I don't know. Like,
absurd,
I have defended Sue up until this point.
Yeah.
Up until that.
Well, of course you don't want to defend him now.
No, but, I mean, really, like, I think that people, people are always like, he's such a dirty player. I'm like, well, maybe, but I heard he's a really nice guy off the field. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, I've always heard really good things about him.
Nobody's going to
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then I saw that coupled with the interview. I even stuck up for him yesterday when I was talking to my dad about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he really didn't need to because he kind of wasn't looking at the guy when he stomped on him. Then when I heard the interview, I was like, okay.
Even before.
Really?
When I saw it before the interview, I clearly said he tried to stump him. Come on, he's an NFL player. His balance is he probably pushes a lot of strong power out of those legs. There's no way he was about to fall. He was not about to fall. No. It was a clear stump back move. It was not good. It's not going to look good because it's probably going to... Albert Hansworth got, what he did, he got 5 games. I'm thinking Sue might get 3 to 4.
Yeah.
I don't really think. Just because of just the national spotlight that it was on. We all saw it. And a lot of people, a lot of people watch games on Thanksgiving just because it's just something you do on Thanksgiving. People watch football. That's what a lot of families do. Even if you're not a football fan. So just to, even, my wife friend, she watched and she was like, clearly, he was trying to stump on him. I mean, she's not a big-time football fan, but she watches because I do, but just the simple fact, she could see that. So a casual fan could see that. That was not good.
And, I think it just would have been better if he took some responsibility for it. Like, even if he said, you know what, I didn't mean to stomp on him, but that's what happened, so I'll take responsibility for my actions. That would have even been better. Instead, just to be like, you know what, no, it wasn't me. I didn't
take up for your responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, just take up for your blame. Just the whole point of him just saying, I was in the heat of the moment and I did it. I apologize to the fans. I know suspension would be right. Something like that. We'd all been like, oh, fine, it's a dead issue.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he's an awesome player. I just think,
I agree.
Time to own up to your responsibility.
And, I mean, he hurt his team really, really badly.
Yeah, because it went all downhill from that point. All downhill.
To think that they're in the wild card chase right now, I mean, and to not have him for a couple games, like that's
my
really
prediction on it was I just really thought they would just, go in there, treat that game like it was a Super Bowl, beat the Packers. I didn't think blowing out, just possibly beat them at a field goal or something like that. But at the end of the game, I'm just like, this is a crap game. I'm tired of watching this. I really stepped away from the TV at that point. Yeah, I'm sure you were nice and happy about it, though. Anyway, next game, Dolphins at...
Cowgirls.
It's the Cowgirls, yes. Cowboys, the only reason I really best with that team in this is because I got a couple players on my fantasy league team from them. But other than that, I mean, they won the game, but everybody's talking about the Cowgirls and their easy, soft schedule, but they're not really blowing past the schedule like you think. Outside of the Bills, there's some teams that you don't think that might could beat them. I know Miami was... they had won 3 straight after losing 7 straight, and they look good. Actually, Miami looks like a pretty decent team.
Yeah, defense.
I don't understand what I hear the talking about. They just went and changed everything, practice schedule, recovery, whatever they did. And I think Sperano is doing a good job of trying to at least finish out the season strong. But I mean, like I said, the Cowboys, I just feel like on paper, they should just go in there and just whoop up on teams like Miami. I really do. I really feel like they could have just went in there, scored, it should have been like 31-7 or something like that. That's what I expected out of that. And it was just a game which it shouldn't have been. And I was upset because Dez Bryant didn't score. So my opinion is totally biased right now. And I should have started Robinson because I have him too.
I just feel like something isn't right with the Cowboys, and I can't really put my finger on it, but just like they don't gel really how they should.
Right.
Like they have all the tools there. If you look at their team,
defensive.
They have great players. They just should be better, and I don't know exactly what it is, but they just don't quite gel.
Yeah, that team, I'm just totally lost half the time with what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. They don't have it right now. To me, I said that they're probably gonna win. They're gonna get in the playoffs, but originally I said they were gonna win the division, but I don't know. The Giants are pretty good, and they're like a Jekyll and Hyde team themselves, but they might win that division. Cowboys will probably get in there with the playoffs, but originally I said that they would get in there with the division, but I mean, it just don't look like they got it to me. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
I agree.
Next game, I hate to talk about this. I was highly upset yesterday. Niners at Ravens. I really thought yesterday did not go as I planned. I thought the Packers would lose, and then we would win, and we'd be tied, and we could possibly fight for home field advantage, but it did not happen that way. Ravens, we went there. Ravens punched us in the mouth. You can't diss Alex Smith because he can't throw the ball. Check. He could not get time to throw the ball. They rushed into 7 was just killing our offensive line. And we have a good offensive line. So it was bad. It was the whole day, it was bad. And they didn't even have Ray Lewis, which I felt like, thank God, because it would have just been worse. They'd have 15 sacks on us. It was just bad. I'm sure you have some nice comments.
I'm kind of afraid to say anything.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
No, I mean, the Niners did have that short week. They had to travel across the country, so I'll give them,
I don't want to hear that. No.
Look, I wanted the Ravens to win. Don't get me wrong.
Of course you did.
For numerous reasons, but...
Why?
My fantasy team, for one. Okay, they're my fantasy defense.
The defense. Also,
your Niners are creeping up on the Packers in the NFC, so obviously I wanted them to lose. So, I mean... Oh, Anquan Bolden, too. I have him. He wasn't that helpful yesterday, but...
He had some catches.
Yeah, no touchdowns.
He you like a 5 or something?
It was about 3.
A 3.
But...
The same Dez Bryant situation.
It just... I don't know. I couldn't figure out what the offensive line was doing. Because you're right. I mean, Alex Smith had no time to do anything.
They did have some creative blitzes, though. It was... The way they blitzed was just... It was nice. They had like an X scheme, and, they... overload one side, send it from the other. It was awesome, but I just feel like our running back, I mean, even Gore was missing block. He going to the wrong man. Offensive line was just confused. It just looked horrible.
That
you can't.
Block
everybody says Alex Smith is a game manager. He can't throw the ball if we can't get blocking. And a lot of y'all say it out there that we're gonna be 13-3, but I still didn't want to lose the game. I looked at the schedule. And that was one of the losses, being realistic as a fan, that I saw. But I still did not want to lose the game. I just felt with that national spotlight on Thanksgiving that we would just go in there and we would shock the world. And you can't blame Alex Smith. You just blame the offensive line, move on, and we'll go beat up on, I think, the Rams or whoever we play next week. So, whatever. What you got, any more? Oh, yeah, I'm pissed off. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, no, I think we can move on from that game.
Anyway, next we're just going to stay with NFL just because it's heavy and it's popular, and that's what we need to do right now. Next, we want to discuss Aaron's favorite, Tebow.
Whoa. Not my favorite.
Tebow's not your favorite?
No, not quite. He's up there. Don't get me wrong.
What's so bad about Tebow? I mean... He sucks as a quarterback, but he's a winner, is what they all say. And I bashed him. But, I mean, right now, I'm not aggressively want to bash him as much just because the simple fact, the dude's 4-1.
He wins games.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that because I feel like the Broncos' defense just looks pretty good this year. I really feel like they look real good this year. It started off rough, but now they're starting to gel. I think they had some injuries that they were dealing with, but... I mean, let's face it, though. If you're down 4 or 5 or whatever, you got a chance to win, and Tebow has the ball, Tebow's going to win you the game.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. I mean, this week they played the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
They played the Chargers. Okay, they played the Chargers this week, and I'm real down on the Chargers right now.
Chargers stink right now.
If it's a close game going into the 4th, Tebow becomes 5-1.